Crypto traders, welcome back. In this video, we're going to take a step outside of the box and we're going to look into a conversation that, and more so a question I get asked a lot by friends, family, even people in the space, where you can turn $1,000 into $10,000 in cryptocurrency, okay? I will reveal my top 10 cryptos that I do hold, the top 10 cryptos that I do kind of favor. Market aside, these are the cryptos that I believe in. They're the ones I talk about every day on my channel, and they're the ones that we're going to be discussing for the purpose of this video as we look into the perspective. And we are going to use the coin perspective to put this all together, because we're going to see what it's going to take to turn $1,000 into $10,000. And as the market's kind of on a dip right now, and we look in kind of the overall narrative where Bitcoin was pressing all-time highs, 111,000. It is kind of a good opportunity to take a step back, to kind of breathe a little bit and to kind of look forward into the future. So we're going to do that right now in this video. For those of you following along on X, make sure you follow me over there. And I do appreciate all my subscribers on YouTube. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and join us right here on the platform. And let's get this discussion going. Okay, so the first way we are going to do this is we are going to look inside the top 100 as we dive into the crypto bubbles. And please understand, if you're watching this at a later date, this will not be indicative of the real-time prices that we are seeing. And always keep in mind that none of this is financial advice, just my thoughts as it relates to the crypto market. Please be sure to do your own research and due diligence, okay? And one last thing before we get going, if you are looking to trade crypto, any of these cryptos and more that we do talk about in this video, make sure you check out my link down below for BTCC. This is my trusted exchange, 14 plus years in the industry. Cool thing about that is you do get 10% bonus on your first time deposit, also 40% lower trading fees, and they do offer spot and leverage trading up to 500x, 300 plus crypto futures, no VPN KYC necessary. So if you are a crypto trader looking to make the switch like other traders have, come trade with me on BTCC. Just make sure it's right for you and where you're located, and enjoy those perks for signing up and depositing today. All right, so let's get this going. This is what you guys all came here for, and we're going to talk about it as we look into the coin market cap, top 10 list, top 100 list. We are going to be talking about the cryptos that I do favor. And as we do go down the board, I will just point them out. So this will pertain to you if you hold any of these cryptos. First on the board, we're going to talk about the big boy, the mothership at the top, Bitcoin. Okay. Obviously, I do think that, and guys, please remember, none of this is financial advice. I'm giving you a detailed look inside of my portfolio and my top 10 holdings. Okay. These are all conviction plays for me, not really any speculation. These are ones that I do believe in. And as the current date that I am recording, these are the ones that I will be featuring in this video as of real time today. Bitcoin at the top, okay? Like I talked about a little bit, pressing all-time high, the ultimate store of value. And if you do believe in the BTC narrative, and people think that we may see $1 million Bitcoin very shortly, that is a conversation to be had. This will be kind of putting it into the perspective, though, and we'll kind of debunk some of the arguments, and we will come out with a winner at the end of this video. So make sure you stick around to the end, because to turn $1,000 into $10,000, that is a 10x, okay? So a lot of people out there may think that Bitcoin can do a 10x, but how quick? And we'll talk about kind of who can, who can't, in my opinion, and also kind of which one could get this job done and complete this task of this 10x quicker than most, okay? And so we'll kind of give you the leader and which one I think is most favorable to do so, and kind of which one not only can do it, but can do it the fastest in the shortest amount of time, okay? So Bitcoin, Ethereum, those will be the top two on my list. Also, I do favor XRP. That was in my top 10. Solana, that is a holding of mine. Dogecoin, Cardano, SUI, Chainlink, okay? And then we're also going to feature the likes of HBAR, and as we get deeper into this list, Pepe coin. And then we're going to continue down, Ono Finance, okay? And that will wrap up my top 10. Now, just outside my top 10, and one that I will have exposure to, one that I do believe that has a chance, and if we were going to make this list a top 11, and this one will probably have the potential to do it fastest and to do it just because of the value, and that is with Kaspa. Okay, so Kaspa would round out my top 11 if I was going to push this to 11. So I did want to feature that, and I do want to make a mention of it because the reason why I have not listed it in my top 10 is because it is not readily available on all the exchanges for people to trade. It's still kind of inhibiting itself by, in my opinion, not being listed on Coinbase, so on and so forth. So please keep that in mind, and that's kind of why we're not using it in this discussion. But Kaspa may be the winner if we were going to talk about who can do it the fastest and who can do it most undoubtedly to 10x. To do this, we will use a website and trading tool that I use, the coinperspective.com. This will illustrate and kind of put into perspective exactly what it says it's going to do. The perspective for coins and the perspective values, okay? And the first one that we did talk about that we are going to mention is Bitcoin. So I have Bitcoin on the board, and we will click the 10x button. And to achieve a 10x for Bitcoin right now, that would have us trading at a $1.05 million value, representing a 10x from the 105.2 that we are at right here, right now. And that would basically essentially mean that to have a $10,000 worth, you'd have to own 0.009 BTC. That's something where I think a lot of people lose track of, is that you can actually have a Satoshi, a fraction of one BTC. And a lot of people I know don't invest in Bitcoin for whatever reason, because they think they can't afford it. Well, a little bit of a Bitcoin can go a long way if you do want to fractionally invest in BTC. And that's kind of what I wanted to pull up on your screen. So at this current level, price level, to do a 10x, if you do hold 0.0095 of BTC, that will be enough to achieve a $10,000 value in a 10x essentially from here if we did reach a 10x. Okay. Next, I do want to get into the next one, that is Ethereum. And to do this with that, you would essentially have to have 3.93 ETH if we did reach a 10x from today's valuation, and that would be Ethereum sitting at 25,422. It's not something that I would potentially look at. This would be probably at the bottom of my list. I do see a value for Ethereum reaching $4,000 once again, potentially even $10,000, but this one would not be one of the ones that I would choose, despite all of the inflows, all of the steam and news, where a little bit of that sentiment is shifting towards Ethereum lately. This one would be definitely not on my list if we were going to turn 1,000 to 10,000, in my personal opinion. XRP, very, very interesting. Okay, now to get 10,000 of XRP, that would mean that you would have to own roughly 4,608 of XRP with a 10x from here. That would mean that XRP's price would be $21.71. I think this one definitely is a possibility, okay? There's a lot of price predictions for the upward echelon of those price predictions. Analysts have XRP reaching $100, $1,000, $10,000. But for the sake of this argument, my price prediction for XRP would be in the short to intermediate term. If we were going to have the bullish argument, it would be in that $4 to $20 range. So this would be just slightly outside of that. So that's kind of be on the lower end of this argument. It's something where it's probably going to be excluded from the winner circle for this discussion. Not saying that I don't think XRP can reach 2171, but just going to illustrate that I don't think this one would win this argument if we're looking to find that value, who can do it the fastest and who can do it. I definitely think it can do it, just not the fastest, and I would probably put this towards the lower of the winners. Solana, on the other hand, okay, this is one that is extremely volatile, in my personal opinion. I am a big proponent. Personally, I swing trade Solana a lot, not just transact with it. You don't, quite frankly, need too much to transact with it these days anyways. But to represent this, Solana would have to reach a $1,562 price tag. I see $500 Solana, I see $750 Solana, but to reach $1,562 and turn 1,000 into 10,000, this would definitely not be a winner as well. So I would have this one off of my list, okay? Dogecoin, this is going to be very interesting, and this is going to be one that has a little bit more volatility because it is a meme coin, okay? So to reach $10,000 in Doge, okay, and this is something as we look into a 10x, and for some reason, okay, so that's kind of where we look into it. You would need to have 5,171 Dogecoin, okay? And this would be a 10x from here would leave Dogecoin, and I believe that might have done it on a 10. No, that is correct. So a 10x from 19 cents would represent $1.93 for Doge, okay? Can Dogecoin reach $1.93? I do think that's a possibility. That's probably way ahead of a lot of people's estimates, but I am a bull on Dogecoin. In terms of meme coins, it's probably one of my top picks. Do I think Dogecoin can do a 10x from here? Yes. If you would ask me 6 months ago, when Dogecoin was trading under 10 cents, the answer to that question would have been hell yes. Okay. I do think Dogecoin can reach $1. $1.93 would mean that Bitcoin would have to be extremely, extremely bullish. Dogecoin and Bitcoin trade alongside of each other very well. And that would be kind of how we see 5,000, okay, 171 Doge would get to $10,000. I think it's possible. I don't think it's likely. It is a avenue that we could explore, but this would not be one of my choices as we move forward down this list, okay? And as we get a little deeper, Cardano is one that I do talk about all the time. So a 10x for Cardano and to reach $10,000, okay? This would be roughly where we look at Cardano. It would have to be trading at a $6.84 price level, okay? And as we talk about that potential worth of $10,000, you would look at needing to have 1,461 ADA, okay? A little bit more than that. So roughly speaking, I think this one is definitely a possibility. And I know a lot of Cardano people are, figuring this is to be the case as well. A lot of people are pretty much anti-Cardano or you love it, okay? It's pretty much the most polarizing crypto, one of the most polarizing. I do cover it. You hate it or you love it, okay? This one would be probably in my top 5 because I do think that Cardano once upon a time did trade above $3. I did buy Cardano above $3. And I think that for Cardano to reach $6.84. My initial price perspective when I did buy ADA was a $9 to $12 valuation. This one would not be too far out of the realm of possibility in my personal opinion. Probably am a Cardano bull, and that's kind of where you look at the 1,461 ADA that you would have to have. I definitely think this could be a very, very strong appeal, especially with the BTC ADA bridge, bridging DeFi into Bitcoin. This is something where I can eclipse that 1,461 ADA without really any work to be done. It's something that Cardano is one of my largest holdings, and that's kind of why I would have this one in my top 5 as well. So I kind of wanted to share that with you guys as being one of the top picks, because I do think that of the ones that we aforementioned, $6.84 Cardano is probably the most realistic out of all the ones we talked about, maybe outside of Bitcoin. Now, SWI, this one has a very, very interesting thought, okay? And to get $10,000, okay, of SWI, that would be roughly 302 SWI that you would have to own, and that would leave a market cap of $33.07. Now, this is a crypto that has not been around for quite some time, and it would leave us with a price prediction of $33. Can that happen? We're going to have to think about that one for a little bit, but with the recent hurdles they have had with that Cetus debacle and what they are doing on DeFi, SWI claiming to be the fastest blockchain in terms of TPS, this is an avenue where I would have thought, if we would have had this discussion when SWI was under $1, this would have been a definite possibility, probably the clear-cut, undoubted winner. But now at $3.31, $33, can it happen? It would leave a market cap of $110 billion. And to put in perspective, as we look at this, $110 billion in today's market would be in the top 5, just right below XRP and right above BNB. Okay, so that's one that would definitely be a consideration to turn 1,010, but it would not be at the forefront in terms of the one. I think Cardano right now is still in the lead, in my personal opinion. Okay, getting down the list a little bit more so, Chainlink. This is one we're going to talk about to have a 10x and to have essentially a $10,000 valuation. This is where you're going to leave with an approximate value of $71 for Link. And this is something that I do think may be the winner, okay? Chainlink was trading above $52 at its all-time high peak. And to go from 52 to 71, I think represents the shortest gap from previous all-time high to prospective 10x. And with the way that RWA is shaping out, and one of the cryptos that I do talk about, Chainlink today with its 1,000 to 10,000, if we're going to have this contest and this perspective, speculative conversation, Chainlink may be number 1, number 2 in this argument. Okay, so I do have the case to be made for Chainlink. We want to go down the list a little bit deeper. We're going to talk about the next one on our board that we did mention, and that would be HBAR. Okay. Now, HBAR is a very interesting one because at a 10x valuation, that would represent a $1.68 price target for HBAR. And as we look at it, to achieve this, and what you would need to have, this would be 592 roughly in HBAR. A lot of people have that. That's a very short number. Now, HBAR, when we started talking about it on my channel, was trading at $4, $5, I'm sorry, 4 cents, 5 cents for HBAR. Now, a 10x from there, where we basically almost eclipsed that with the all-time high for HBAR. I think this one would look at HBAR at a $71.3 billion market cap. This is a clear-cut, obvious choice, okay? It definitely can do that. I definitely see a world where HBAR trades above $70 billion in total market cap, and that's one that we're going to have definitely in our top 5 in terms of value if you want to turn 1,000 into 10,000, okay? Next, I want to get into Pepe. That is one considered a meme coin by most, considered, varying arguments. This is one where we have to get into some decimals because it does bring up a little bit more of a conversation to be had about kind of the potential for a meme coin. Now, this would leave Pepe with a market cap of $50 billion. Now, at all-time highs, Pepe was just above $10 billion. Now, if we want to talk in terms of perspective, we will put in essentially what we would need to get $10,000, and that would leave us with a lot of Pepe. Okay, 83.6 million Pepe is what it would take, and basically from there, guys, we would have to absolve a zero and have a target price of 0.000119. Excuse me. So that is something where I definitely see this being a possibility, especially with meme coins, the Matt Fury narrative, but it's going to take a lot of steam. And I think that if you want to talk volatility and fastness and speed, Pepe, if it wasn't such a dominant market share with the overall meme coins out there, if there wasn't so many blockchains offering so many meme coins, and we were still trading where it was basically Dogecoin and SHIB, and then Pepe entered the fold, I think that is definitely a case to be made. Okay, but at this low valuation where Pepe is almost at the bottom of its floor, that's kind of where you look into this fourth zero. If they do absolve that fifth zero and we get that one back and trade below where we have a price valuation at that 509, 508, 507, even as low as 506, I definitely think Pepe can make a 10x from there. From here, though, guys, 50 billion for Pepe. I'm not saying it's out of the realm of possibility. I probably think that the volatility exists more so with Pepe than all of the other cryptos on my list. So I would definitely have that in consideration. But that's what it's going to take. And for the sake of argument, we're going to keep this one going. And Pepe would be just outside, if not right there in the fifth spot in where I believe you could turn 1,000 into 10,000 the quickest. Okay. And then outside of that, guys, we did talk about the previous list. I want to get into the next one, and that will be Ono Finance, as well as we did mention Kaspa and Solana. But Ondo will be the last one that we will get into as I find it here on your board. And you can see kind of where we're at with Ondo. And this is the last crypto. That would represent a $26.4 billion market cap. Definitely possible. Definitely believe in Ondo reaching a $26.4 billion market cap. And to do this, to do what we're trying to do here, this would leave us with needing, and this would leave us with needing a little bit under 1,200 Ondo. Okay, so that would be 1,195. Another one to go alongside Chainlink with RWA. So Chainlink, Ondo, that's my RWA plays. And I think that when you look inside my portfolio and we talk Ondo Finance, this would be one that I definitely think has probably the best shot and the easiest shot to reach a $26.4 billion market cap, just simply because of volume. So if I was going to give you guys my top play in terms of speed, me personally, I probably would have Ondo Finance number one. Outside of that, I probably would stick with RWA. I would have Chainlink number two. And then if we go a little bit deeper down the list, from there, guys, it would be the 11th spot. I would have Kaspa next at third. And then from there, I probably would go Pepe fourth, and then rounding out that fifth spot, it would be the likes of Cardano. Okay, so that's kind of where I'm at. Then Ondo would probably be next, and then I would have probably Dogecoin behind that. Bitcoin would probably be dead last just because the overall size of that crypto, but you have to envision a world where these cryptos do perform a 10x from here. Bitcoin would have to be doing exceedingly well. So I know we're setting the bar at 10x, but reminder, with all these top assets in my portfolio, even at a 5, 6, 7x from here, that's still something we're going to celebrate. For the sake of this argument, though, I did want to illustrate the top plays that I have in my portfolio that I think can 10x if we're going to look at the top 100 cryptos, and that is my short list. Okay, so I wanted to put it all together for you guys. Just a quick little reiteration. Top three, we're going to go Ondo, Chainlink, and then I probably would have Caspa, even though that's 11th technically because of it's not being listed everywhere. And then Pepe and Cardano would round out the top five. Okay, so leave your thoughts and comments down below. Do you agree, disagree with my list? I want to know your picks. If you were going to turn $1,000 into $10,000 tomorrow, well, maybe not tomorrow, but in the quickest amount of time, which crypto in the top 100 will you be picking? I want to know down below in the comments. As always, guys, had a little fun with this one, got outside the box. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and join us on the channel. Looking forward to get this discussion going down below. We'll see you guys all in the next video. Cheers.